Before we start, the name is at the top right of the screen. The story begins as someone states that they have no need for a cat thief to be stealing food in their region. A man commands to throw her out right at this instant. She calls out to him, addressing him as Sir Jirian. She asks him to please forgive her, just this once. She tells him that her mother was starving. She pleads to him, but he asks her to be silent. He calls her Kidia and tells her that he will grant her request to save her mother's life. She cut her mouth, stating that her mother will not live much longer anyway. He asks her why did she have to touch Sir Jirian's warehouse. They take her to a high end and throw her from there. She coughs and looks at them, throwing her mother as well. She panics and calls out to her mother. She runs to catch her mother. Thankfully, she catches her mother. She panics and calls out to her mother. Her mother is still in her consciousness. Her mother asks her to forgive her as she states it is all her fault. She tells her mother that is not the case, and in her belly are her younger siblings. The blood drips from her body, and she expresses that they had no other choice because they have been starving for days. Her mother said that she does not think she can do this anymore and asks to hurry before the cat starts patrolling. Her mother asks her to go to the territory of the wolves. Kidia calls out to her mother, telling her that she is bleeding so she should not try to speak. Her mother apologizes to her, stating that if she had known this would happen, she would have told her a long time ago. She extends her hand towards Kitty and tells her that she has special power. She grabs onto her as they share a moment together. Kitty has tears dropping from her eyes. Her mother tells her that she will definitely uncover them. Her mother passes away as Kitty cries for her. She wonders where did it all go wrong. She thinks if it was all because of the fight between the strong and weak half-cats, eventually driving them into the shadows. She thinks if it was when her father and brother suddenly were killed in an accident. She tells her mother that she does not know what to do, questioning to herself. What does she do now? She apologizes to her mom and curses those that killed her. After a while, she buries her mother and sits beside her grave. With teary eyes, she realizes that she is missing her mom already. She calls out to Jirian and curses him. She ponders that she will stay strong and avenge her. She hears a noise from behind, but she assures herself that she is going to be okay even if she is a cat, because she is as brave as a wolf. She tells her mother to rest in peace as she begins to walk away. On her way back, it begins to rain, causing her to think of her mother. She is aware that her mom would want her to leave and find happiness, but where does she go once she leaves the cat territory? She notices them ahead as she hides behind a tree. One of the person tells young masters that they should not venture out this far just to play ball, as they might scare other people. She becomes startled as she wonders if those are half-wolves. She sees that they have gray hair just like hers. She wonders maybe she could then pass herself off as a wolf too. The person is so exhausted as he takes the young masters in the carriage. She remembers that her mother told her once that baby half-beasts look similar until they grow distinguishable features. Her mother also mentioned the wolf territory in her last words. The family that rules over the whole territory, the Grid Wolf family, is very wealthy, and she heard that they are very generous towards fellow wolves. Realizing that if they find out that she's a cat, she might get tortured or kicked out. Where she knows that if she stays here, she might stop to that before she can carry out her revenge. She thinks if it is only for a short while, unlike animals, half-beasts are rational beings, so they would not just eat her out of nowhere. Though she does not know what would happen if they go on a frenzy like what happened a few years ago. She decides to just go to their residence. In the grateful residence, the masters are chilling. One of them states that damn ball went over the wall again. The other expresses that he is tired of playing ball. One asks why could not the other, being a younger sister. He could have dolled him up then. They hear a knock and question the butler. What is the matter? The butler apologizes to them and tells them that someone has been lurking around since earlier. They look out of the door, questioning who. They hear a voice from down stating that she's down here. She questions if this is the Grid Wolf mansion. This slightly blushes and asks why. She tells him that she guesses she came to the right place. She introduces herself as Kitty and states that she is a brave wolf, even though she looks a bit young. She tells them that she heard that Grid would provide jobs for poor wolves with no family. One of them sniffs and questions the other. Is not that a cat? The other asks if they should have her replaced with the ball they used to play with as a punishment for lying. They think of it as a good idea as cat fur is especially soft too. They invite her in, questioning if she would like to come in first. She thanks them very much. She is very glad that they're so nice towards her. She steps in and extends her hand towards them. They're confused and asks her what she is doing. She tells them that it is a handshake. They shake hands with her and tell her it is nice to meet her too, while thinking about who shakes hands with both hands at the same time. After shaking hands with her, they both become shocked. Realizing that her hands are so soft, they wonder they are so skinny, but their palms are so soft. They continue to grab onto her hand, thinking if all cat people are like this. She wonders if she really looks like a wolf to them. She steps with them as she wonders how old are these guys, thinking if they are 10 or 12. One of them asks her if her name is Kisha, right? She tells them that is the case. They tell her that this is the main building of the Green Wolf Mansion. She seems really astonished. She looks around, noticing everything. She's aware that everyone here is big and cool, and they all match this grand mansion perfectly. Noticing that her feet and the shoes of cat people are soft on the soles, so they do not make noise when they walk. She's asked if something is bothering her. She responds that is not the case at all. She is aware that her mom told her she's as tough as a wolf, even though she's a cat, and thinks maybe things will go well. She notices that they are still holding. Her hands are not there. They both blush as they stare at her. Her stomach makes a noise as she apologizes to them, telling them that she has not eaten for days. They ask her if she has not eaten. She responds that it is okay as she usually only eats one meal a day anyway. They both have a worrisome expression on their face, thinking that even if she is a cat, she should eat well, especially since she's young. They ask her why only one meal a day. They also question how did she end up at the wolf mansion. She has tears in her voice as she decides to open up. After a while, both of them are taking care of her as well as crying, telling her that they are very sorry for asking unnecessary question, and tells her she is so young and she must have been through a lot. They cannot believe that her whole family died and she was left alone. They cannot believe that someone so young like her had to survive only on spring water. They tell her that she must be tired from the long journey, so she should not worry today and just eat and rest, telling her that the food will be out soon. Before that, they also ask her if they should introduce themselves. They question what is her full name. She has no idea about it as they ask her what did other people call her. She tells them that they would call her soft hands as her palms are really soft. The board began to laugh before one of them tells Dion that he should not laugh like that as it is rude to a lady while trying to control laughing himself. He asks her. So her nickname is Soft Hands. She is determined as she tells them yes, but she can work well as she has been working since she was very young. They both are not very pleased to hear about it, as they both have her causing her to be confused. They think that at an age when she should be eating well and playing, she went through a lot. One of them introduces himself as Nantheo Greedwolf. The other one is Dion Greedwolf. She questions about Greedwolf as she is told that the Greedwolf she is looking for is their father. They tell her that he is out for a bit now, but will be back soon. She is shocked, realizing that the ones who held on to her the entire way here were the sons of Greedwolf. She tells them that she thought they were very kind. They question if she is surprised. They tease her that since they both are wolves, there is nothing to be surprised about, right? She is shocked as hell, but tells them, of course, she is not surprised at all. Started realizing that she was so surprised that her claws came out. She becomes scared, thinking if they just noticed that she's a cat. They both have their eyes on her. She wonders what should she do now. They act as if they did not catch on and tell her that the food is really not here yet, so they cannot see anything because they are so hungry. She's aware now is the time when tries to make her claws go back in. After a while, they call out to her as Soft Hands and tells her this is a welcome greeting. They tell her that wolves treat their guests to a lot of food, hoping they will stay a long time. She's astonished seeing all the food. They ask her what does she want to eat first. She points towards the fish as Nanthio tells Dion that he was right, that the little cat, before he corrects it to the wolf cub, would use the fish first. He asks her to choose slowly. Dion asks her if it is so delicious that she wants to eat it for the rest of her life. Nanthio also asks if it is good enough that she wants to keep eating. She ponders that it is very delicious, and she has never tasted anything this good, thinking that it melts away in her mouth. How can something be like this? She suddenly halts as her tail begins to show. She finds it bad, realizing that she must have eaten too enthusiastically. She knows that it is different from a wolf's tail, so they will notice it soon. What it takes over her as she wonders if they did not see her ugly tail. Realizing if only the tip of her tail would not have been beaten back then, Nanthio questions if Dion thinks that everyone has noticed that she's a cat. Dion responds of course she smells like a cat, and the only reason they are not bothering her is that because they are with her. They question if they can make sure that the people in the mansion do not mess with her, but they do not know how to do that. But if they have seen the items mother has hidden, right? They are also aware that their mother would be happy to have a daughter. They both stare at her excitedly as she wonders why are they looking at her like that. They tell her it is just that her wolf ears are just too magnificent, questioning if they always perk up like that when she eats something delicious. She asks them if it is not the same for everyone. They think about it for a while before they tell her. Of course, all wolf cubes are like that, and they must have forgotten because it has been too long. She smiles, questioning if that is the case. Theo asks her if he can touch her ears just once. She tells him that asking to touch ears is considered rude, but she tells them that she will allow it for the kind two of you. She leans her head as Theo touches her ears. He beams with satisfaction as Dion questions why is he looking like that. He decides to touch her ears too to see how that feels like. Both of them become so excited and turns around to questions about father's arrival, commanding to inform him that their mother also has urgent business and he needs to come back quickly. They're aware if they prepare the family register before father arrives, things will proceed faster. They find her really cute, especially looking at the baby fuzz on the tips of her ears. She is filled with dirt. She asks them what kind of person is Lord Greed Wolf. They tell her that Jackal Greed Wolf is the strongest among the wolves. He may have a stern manner and scary expression, but he cherishes his family like any great wolf would. Even leopards turn pale at the mere mention of his name. Realizing that, she turned pale too. She is dumbfounded as he questions if she would like to hear about their mother too. He tells her that Caris Greed Wolf is a magnificent wolf who was once the head of the Night Order. Knowing that she has been wanting a daughter, she asks about the daughter. Theo asks her hat she has nowhere to go and needs protection because she is young, right? So how about she becomes a part of their family? He also tells her that she is too young to take in as a maid and their mansion is the safest place in the wolf territory. She trembles, but she realizes that if Jackal Greed Wolf adopts her like Theo and Dion said, she'll be safe. But if she forgets about her family, no one will remember her mom, dad, or brother. She flinches as Theo picks her up. He tells her that he is here, so they should go as she wanted to greet Lord Greed Wolf. Dion asks if she is not scared of a wolf's howling. Is she? She tells him of course she is not, stating that she is a wolf too. They notice Jackal Greed Wolf and calls out to him. She ponders, so that's Jackal Greed Wolf. His hair and eyes are completely wolf-like. They welcome him back. Kitty trembles knowing that he is glaring at her. He calls out to Theo and Dion questioning what is that little fluff ball that they are holding. She panics about being called a fluff ball knowing that she is in her human form right now. Dion tells his father that she wanted to greet him. She nervously greets him. He observes her silently as she introduces herself as Kita, telling him that she may be young, but she is a brave wolf. She extends her hand towards him and tells him that she heard that he provides jobs for poor wolves without families. He remains silent for a while before he shakes hands with her. He gives her more of a fierce glare. Theo tells his father that he is aware that he likes her, but he should please let go of her hand now. Dion adds that he will break her hand at this rate. Kitty is trembling with tears in her eyes as she wonders if he likes her, even with such a scary face. He lets go, but she will grow up to be incredibly fierce, which would be a threat to small animals. He wonders about her being a wolf, a young but brave wolf. He is dumbfounded for a while before he mentions that he sees she's indeed a wolf. Theo asks his father if they put this fragile and poor little wolf on their family register, they can protect her, and he knows that their mother wants a daughter. He responds that his wife does not particularly care for young girls. He does not understand what makes them think that she wants a daughter. Theo tells his father that he saw the items in mother's closet. He can go and fetch them right now as well then. Their father gives her a fierce look as she thinks that Lady Greed Wolf must really dislike girls. She wonders what if she throws her out, saying that it upsets her just to see her. Someone steps towards her as she thinks that she heard wolves tend to follow women's words. It is Carys as she takes off the cloth from her body. She stares down at Kitty for a while, before she questions that there's a young girl in her mansion is not there. She is terrified as she looks at the lady. Both Dion and Theo grab her hand. They introduce her as Kaida and tell their mother that she's a young but brave little wolf. She heard that they provide jobs for poor orphaned wolves and came all this way. Kitty tries to muster up some courage and extend her hand towards the lady. The lady shakes hands with her and Kitty ponders that it seems like she does not like her soft hands, thinking if she's going to be thrown out like this. Both young masters look at each other before she tells the lady that she can sing for her until she is in a good mood. On sunny days, she can pick a bunch of pretty flowers for her. On nights when the moon is big and full, she can open the curtains so she can see the night view. And if it makes her uncomfortable to see her, the lady can assign her to clean the chimneys. She learned how to clean chimneys before she learned to speak. She begins to cry. She questions if the lady could let her work here even just a little. She promises not to draw any attention. The lead wipes her tears and gets turned on her knee, telling her that first she needs to wipe away her tears and take a proper bath. This causes her to be shocked. She is aware that she hates baths. She doesn't like getting into the water, and she hates getting her fur all wet. And he introduces herself as Lena and states that she will be helping her with her bath. She asks to call her Mrs. Grey. She introduces herself as Kisha, a wolf, stating that she heard that Lord Greed Wolf provides jobs for wolves, so she came here. Then Annie tells her she is going to work at such a young age, but tells her she came to the right place, stating that the master is kind enough to even provide work for an old woman like her whose senses have dulled. Kitty questions if that is really the case. The nanny does not know how to respond as Kitty is aware that truly is the case. She shouts questioning really. The nanny responds of course, as he cherishes every wolf-like family. She questions if they should take a bath now as they need to disinfect her wounds, so they should get started. But she tells the nanny she can bath by herself. She takes a quick bath as the nanny tells her that it's just a quick wash and it is not enough. She takes Kitty with her. She begins to undress her, telling her that the bottom seems old, it is not coming undone easily. She flinches as the nanny tells her that she did not mean to startle her, but also states that they will have to throw this dress away as it is too damaged to wear even after washing. She responds that it is precious to her and questions if she can at least keep one of the buttons. The nanny tells her of course she will collect the buttons on the shelf so she can take them after her bath. The nanny brushes her hair, telling her that she is leaving such pretty and lush hair in such a state. She responds that the journey was tough, but if she gets a job like her, then she plans to tie her hair up nicely. Mrs. Grey tells her if she tied up in pigtails it would look really cute, but questions what does she mean by journey, asking her, where is the rest of her luggage? She responds that the clothes she had at the entrance are all she has. Mr. Gray asks her. The big wardrobe will be empty for a while, then. She asks about it as Mrs. Gray asks her if she's not aware that the young masters ordered a room to be prepared for her, stating that it is the first time those mischievous young masters made a sincere request for a guest, and that wardrobe is now hers. She picks her up and questions if they should get her into the water now. She is so skinny, so she must be light as well. Mrs. Gray throws her in the water as she flinches. She's aware that hurts, noticing a crack in her claw. Mrs. Gray questions, "What is that smell?" She responds that she has not been able to wash for a long time, so she must smell. A rubber duck is spotted as earlier she had asked her that since she will be taking a bath, could she add a rubber duck when she is fully clean and in her new clothes. Mrs. Gray asks her how does she feel now. She thanks Mrs. Gray and tells her they are cozy and warm. But Miss Gray finds something strange, stating that the bath is over, yet there is still a smell. She smells her again as Kitty wonders if she has been discovered. But Gray tells her that her eyes are really beautiful. Her eyes are like the color of emeralds, and she has never seen a wolf with such eyes. Kitty responds that she came from far away and thanks her for the compliment. She knows that looking into their soft hands' eyes is like going on a picnic by a lake. They have a beautiful color like green grass mixed with clear water. Gray questions if they should now comb her hair as it is in better condition now that it has been washed. She does Kitty. That her hair is thick and curly would suggest that she lived in a cold place, and usually animals with thick and long fur live in cold regions. She responds that it was a place where drafts came in and water dripped from the ceiling, so she had to wear 2 layers of clothes to sleep. But she loved it because she could cuddle with her mom. Gray asks her if it was the northern region. She responds that she is not sure, but it is true that they were also short on firewood at times. This causes Gray to be sad. After a while, Gray tells her that she's all done and the young masters will be pleased to see her shiny new look. She thanks Nanny for her help. Gray tells her she is indeed a brave little wolf, so she's sure that she will do a good job, telling her that the servants will clean the bath water later so she can rest for a while. As Kitty steps outside, she runs towards the side before she passes by the mirror. She checks in the mirror and becomes shocked, questioning what is this. She realizes that this color is obviously not a wolf's color. It was originally this color, but it must have been dark gray from not washing for so long. She has no idea what to do now. She looks around and finds a towel. She covers her hair from it. She thinks if she will be suspected if she keeps her hair covered. She takes her ears out and realizes this is better as she is aware that Theo and Dion said her ears were wonderful wolf ears. She goes to her room with the button and thinks that they told her this would be her room for now, so if she hides this button under the pillow no one will find it. She lays on the bed, realizing that the bed is really soft. She wishes that she could stay here for at least a week. She is aware that the Yu and Dion seem to like her, but Lord and Lady Greed Wolf did not seem. They are the masters of the mansion, so she must be kicked out soon. She has to wait until others arrive, but she finds it so warm and wonders if her siblings were boys or girls. She knows that her mother said she had 3 younger siblings. She was most curious about their fur color. She thinks that she should rest now and then go see Lady Carisse and Lord Jackal to plead once more. Meanwhile, the lady asks the kids what is going on. Dion mentions that her name is Kitty and her nickname is Soft Hands because her palms are soft. Theo questions would not this cute and lovely soft hands make their mansion more harmonious if she becomes their little sister. Their father calls out to them. Dion mentions that she said she came because she heard Greed Wolf provides job for wolves without families, and it will take a very long time before she can work. The lady asks them if they make that irresponsible suggestion of having her adopted into a wolf family. The lady calls out to them and asks them if they remember 12 years ago when the power of the blue moon caused the beast man to lose their reason and revert to beasts. 12 years ago, the gem blue moon, which only appeared in creation myths, appeared in the territory of the leopards. Hearing that a goddess possession had appeared in the world, Leopards flocked like clouds to see the blue gem. But that was the beginning of a disaster, as the blue moon contained immense and primordial magic. Leopards who came into close contact with that power lost their reason and reverted to beasts running amok. Though several experiments, it was discovered that the leopards who possessed the blue moon intended to drive other animals into madness. They are told that if the large animals staying in the mansion gets mad again, no one can guarantee her safety. Dion states that if their father acknowledges her as part of their family, she will not be attacked even if that happens. Theo agrees, stating that even when wolves become beasts, they still respect the hierarchy. She tells them that living and surviving are different from living safely, questioning how safe can a cat live among wolves. She questions if they can truly guarantee that nothing will happen. Dion mentioned that their father just called her a wolf. The lady becomes really frustrated, but she's told that her parents have both passed away for soft hands who has no one to feed or protect her. Whether it is wolf den prone to madness or the outside world, there is no difference. The lady asks them to go outside now. Outside, the lady had tears in her eyes as she told the kids to take a breath. She has tears in her eyes as she mentions that she will come to fetch them someday. She buries them, stating that even if it is cold and scary, they should please endure a little longer. Kitty is sleeping as she is told that she fell asleep in the hallway, so he brought her in and she seems to have fallen asleep waiting for them. The lady calls out to Jackal and tells them that she had something to say. She is sorry for lying as she told him she threw away the items, but she did not. In fact, whenever she thought of her, she brought more things that a little girl could use, even though she frowned whenever she saw real little girls because they reminded her of her. But if they decided to watch this child grow, it will be painful because it would remind them of their deceased child. But they know that with this kind of tale, it will be hard to pretend to be a wolf. Anywhere will be dangerous for her, so how about they can protect her until she can stand on her own as a temporary family. The lady is happy yet scared to see her as when she wakes up, she notices the lady calling out to her telling her that she looks happy. She flinches seeing her.
She thinks about last night. Before she notices that she is her cat form right now, she looks at the lady and tries to explain to her about the form. The lady smiles and apologizes for laughing, mentioning that it has been a while since she has seen a baby wolf, telling her that she must have seen that Theo and Dion have grown up quite a bit. She finds it glad that she looks like a wolf. She knows that yesterday the lady seemed to frown at the sight of a girl and thinks if it could be that she seems too spirited to be seen as a girl her age. She knows that she has to keep acting mature. To take revenge on Jerian, she needs to stay in this mansion pretending to be a wolf until she can be independent. The lady tells her that she slept a long time and her fur is a mess, questioning if she can smooth it out a bit. She responds that she can do it. She picks her up and asks her if it feels good. She is enjoying it a lot as she wishes for her to do it a little more. She ponders that she should not be enjoying this like a child. The lady tells her that she wondered why Dion called her soft paw, but now she understands him as she has cute soft pink paws. She tells her that she thought the lady disliked her paws. The lady tells her that her hands are so thin that it made her feel bad, and she mentions that she will give her a lot of delicious food from now on so she can grow stronger. Kitty thinks about it, realizing from now on means that she'll be staying with them. The lady asks her if they should go and eat now as everyone is waiting. This causes Kitty to be happy. She runs to get food, and she also tells her that her name is Kisha. The lady asks her if her nickname should be Tia. Kitty is back in her human form and mentions that she would be happy if she is called Kitty. The lady calls her that and picks her up. As they are walking in the hallway, Kitty ponders, does from now on mean that they're going to give her a job? Or could it be that Theo and Dion said yesterday that they want to adopt her? In the food, it is warm mushroom cream soup topped with crispy grilled salmon pieces. The lady tells her it is hot so she should eat slowly. Dion asks his mother if she is calling Kisha Kitty. His mother tells him that she got information from Kitty and that he would not use a lady's nickname without permission. Would he? Theo asks Kitty if they can call her that too. Kitty tells them that they surely can call her that and mentions that both of them are very kind. The Duke is glaring at her, causing her to be nervous. The lady tells him to not just demand with his eyes and ask her properly like the kids did as he is scaring her this way. After they are done with food, Theo and Dion tells Kitty to enjoy her dessert too. They thought that she would like pudding, so they arranged it. She is stunned as she tells them that her pudding seems a bit large, questioning could it be that Miss Jackal's pudding was placed wrong. His Duke looks at his pudding, which is really less. Dian tells Kitty to enjoy her pudding. After they are done with dessert, her lady asks Kitty how was the meal. Kitty responds that it was very delicious and thanks her. The lady tells her that she's glad to hear that. She mentions to Kitty that all the food in the Grid Wolf Mansion comes from here, and if she's ever hungry or wants something, she can just come here and ask. Kitty ponders that Jirian controlled the cats with food. Just now her lady gave her permission to use the mansion's kitchen. She really thinks that they think of her as a wolf. Before that, the lady calls out to her, grabbing her attention. She tells Kitty that all of the Griff Wolves wants her to be an honorary family member, so she can live safely until she becomes an adult. She asks Kitty if she can be honest and tell him how she feels about it. Kitty looks at his Duke. She wonders that even though they have such indifferent faces, do they really want her as family? She thinks about her past before she tells them that she would be thrilled if the Grid Wolf family took care of her Dot, but she cannot promise to forget her original family. She tells them that in that case, they might be disappointed, and she does not wish to disappoint them. The lady grabs onto her and tells her that once someone has been family, they can never truly forget them, so she should not force herself to forget, and she cannot even if she tries. She tells Kitty that she knows that as well as she does, so she should not worry. As her family is always with her in her heart, Kitty begins to cry and questions if she can really have two families until she grows up. All of them stand beside her, telling her that of course her family would want her to be protected and happy. She wipes her tears, and Theo also helps her with that. He questions if that means that she will be his little sister. She finds living luxuriously alone, still sad as she said she buried her mom in the ground with her own hands. The lady tells her that after a funeral, all animals go to a happy place. Kitty responds that she could not give her a funeral as she had no money at all. Her lady mentions that although it is a bit late, she will help Kitty hold a funeral, so she should not worry. Kitty asks her what does a happy place mean then. The lady tells her that her happy place means a cozy and warm heaven. Kitty has no idea about heaven, as Theo tells her that a heaven is like a paradise with everything one could ever want, so her family must be living even more luxuriously there. Dian agrees with Theo and tells her she does not have to feel guilty. Kitty thinks about the place like that and questions, could there be pieces of perfectly cut salmon floating in a stream? Or is heaven really like a paradise with everything? She looks at the Duke as he mentions it must be such a place. She realizes if that would be the case, then it's wonderful. She is aware that both father and brother are named Icarus. She becomes nervous thinking, why is his Duke looking at her like that? She knows her mom is resting in cat territory and being expelled. She cannot return, nor can she exhume the deceased. Furthermore, anyone who looks at her can see that her mother does not look like a wolf at all. If one says that her dad is a wolf, that is fine, as it is said that you can marry anyone in human form. She thinks if her mother should be exhumed for the funeral. She knows that her mother is probably catching salmon floating on the stream in paradise right now. And there are babies in her womb. Her lady grabs her hand and tells her that she does not have to worry about that. She is told that the most important things at a funeral are flowers, candles, and wishes for happiness. Kitty asks her lady if that is really enough. Her lady tells Kitty that's right, and if there is a family picture, it will be even more meaningful. Kitty finds it a wonderful idea. Dian grabs her hand and tells her that they should go to his room now. Her lady tells her that Theo's room has many art tools, and there's also a set of crayons with 200 colors. They mention that they prepare the candles and flowers, and the painting will be completed before sunset. Kitty thanks them and steps away while grabbing both Theo's and Dian's hand. They stand in front of the door as Kitty gets a hiccup. She becomes scared as she looks at the doorknob. She tells them that she is holding both of two hands, so she cannot hold the doorknob, and it is absolutely not because of fear. Dian tells her that he will open the door, and next time she has to open and enter herself. As he opens the door, the maids greet them. Dian tells her that he will introduce her slowly after recording the names of the workers in the household registration book. Dian helps her sit down and states that she's so light, so probably he has to order double the snack portion. She questions maybe double is too much, but he tells her that if she wants anything to eat, she can just come to his room, as his room is right next to Theo's room, and he will prepare dried salmon for her every day. She thanks Dian and calls him Mr. Dian. He seems sad as he does, Sir Dot that it is okay, and she can just take it slow and older brother can wait. Theo tells Dian that he monopolized her when he is absent-minded. Theo gives her the tools to draw on this paper so it will fit the picture frame. She thanks them as they both are curious the moment she grabs the pen. She starts to draw and her tail is moving abruptly. Both Theo and Dion find it really funny that her tail is moving along with the pencil. She turns around and tells them that baby wolves can make a few mistakes. They both laugh out loud and tells her that they are sorry for teasing her and they will not do that again. The maid brings some snacks. Dion calls out to Kitty. He tells her that the snacks are here and asks her if she wants him to feed her. She asks him for just one piece. She munches down food and continues to draw. Theo asks her what is her family like. She tells him that her mom is a very warm person and also hugs her tightly, and she gave her the nickname Soft Hands. Theo tells her that her mother is so wonderful. She also tells him that her mom always used to say that her dad and brother are heroes. Even though they have to go on missions and rarely go home, they always bring her gifts. Theo tells her that they will also try the same. She also tells him that in her mom's womb there are 3 more babies. They have not been born yet, so she cannot draw them. Theo notices that it is not sunset yet. She asks him if she can draw on the back and that she will draw quickly. He states that she can do it, but she should be careful not to damage the front. She gets on the ground, having her focus on the work as they both look at her and find her like a piece of bread. She wonders that she also wants to remember the image of her family when they were cats. She is aware that she will miss everyone, and that she should not worry as she will become happier than anyone else. She wishes for her mom, dad, brothers, and kittens to be happy in the wonderful world of paradise. She realizes that the sun is setting and becomes nervous. She questions what should she do as they will be late. Theo asks her to give it to him as he will quickly put the picture in the frame. The lady knocks on the door and asks her if she has finished drawing yet. Kitty responds that she has finished drawing. She shows the drawing to the lady as her lady mentions that she's really good at drawing. Kitty thanks her and questions if this is enough for the funeral. She is told that of course it is, and that they should go now. Dion and Theo tells them that they have some things to do first, so both of them should go ahead and they will follow in a while. Her lady tells them that they should not be late and that they should finish their work quickly and come right away. Both of them ask their mother to not worry. As they are walking in the hallway, Kitty asks her lady where are they going. She responds that they're going to Kitty's room. Kitty looks at the doorknob and realizes that her room does not have any wolves like this. As they step inside, there stands his Duke. Kitty asks him where are they as he tells her it is her room. She tells him it is the same, but her room is in a different place. He tells her that this is her room in Grid Wolf. She understands that wolf door handles can only be used by Grid Wolf. She thinks that even though it is temporary, it feels like this family accepts her. She thanks him very much and tells him that should be pretty open. He even brought her up below. Appreciating that from her heart, her lady tells her that when Theo and Dion arrive, they will light the candles, and when the candles burn out, everyone will go to a happy world in heaven. So she should be mentally prepared. Both Yor and Dion runs fastly and arrive right then, panting heavily. They state that they were late because they were preparing gifts for Kitty and apologizes for being late. They step towards Kitty and give her the gifts. With a confused expression, she takes it and looks at the gift. She questions if this gift is for kittens. Dion tells her that his sister keeps thinking about them, so how can he ignore them? Theo tells her to stop crying and quickly decorate as the sun is about to completely set. She wipes her tears and smiles. She puts the frame inside and wishes for her family to be happy in heaven, as she will definitely come to meet everyone later, and she loves everyone so much. She thanks Grid Wolf family for helping her organize the funeral as Theo tells her that they will stay with her until the candles burn out. She tells them that it will take a long time for the candle to burn out and questions if all of them are not sleepy. They tell her that being family means that they will wait for anything with her. This causes her to be surprised as she thanks them and calls them brother. Both of them are stunned and questioned. What did she say? They tell her that she said it so suddenly and it is unfair as she laughs. They scraped off the melted candle wax and end the funeral by burying a small jar containing candle wax in the back garden of the villa. His Duke carried a small pendulum and placed it where the candle had been lit. He said that it was a magic tool that would protect the chrysanthemums and the painting in the display case forever. She thinks that even though he seemed indifferent, he was kind. So she completed the funeral with the help of her new family. She is told that this is the Duke's office and the other door leads to the library and the other one leads to the honor room. And the one on the front is the path to the meeting room. Theo tells her that Father's office mainly deals with military issues. Political issues are handled by the mother, and her office is on the opposite side of Father's office. Kitty finds this place amazing as the cushion is also very soft. She notices the portrait and questions if his Duke brought it. Theo tells her that is right, as male wolves consider loving their family their greatest pride. Diane mentions that their father was a great wolf, although his appearance seems a bit stern. She tells them that both of them are also great brothers. They are taken aback as they question if she really thinks that way, questioning again if they are great brothers. She tells them, of course, both of them are very great brothers. Her lady gives her the household registration book. Kitty ponders that the brothers are very wonderful. She is told that only with the approval of the Grid Wolf clan leader can names be engraved here with magic. She writes on it and wonders if besides Theo and Diane, is there anyone else? Her lady tells her that her handwriting is also very beautiful and that they should complete the adoption paperwork. Should they tell her that all documents must be read carefully and signed. She responds that she's aware of that. It is very lengthy as she continues to read it. She notices her name on it and becomes excited before reading it again. She notices her name appeared again. She wonders what should she do as she realizes it is big trouble because besides her name she cannot read any words. Her lady takes the document from her and apologizes to her, telling her that now she sees that the documents have so many confusing words. His Duke states that Theo and Diane cannot read this either. Both of them nods. He states that soon they will find a suitable teacher to teach her what she needs. They help her read together as after a while she questions if the content of this document is to agree to let her become a member until she reaches adulthood, right? Her lady mentions that if there's anything that makes her wonder or what she wants, they can fix it together. She remembers that the doorknob in her new room is so scary, and she wants his teeth to be a little smaller. The Duke tells her that he will make the wolf's teeth rounder. She thanks him and tells them that other than that she doesn't want anything else, and she is so happy to have a new family. Theo and Diane asks her if she wants to sign with a pen or fingerprint. She tells them that she will use fingerprints as when they grow up they will create a cool signature. She comes in her current form as both Diane and Theo become shocked. Her lady picks her up and tells her that she must print beautifully. She responds that yes she will and questions if she needs to print her nails too. Her lady finds her really cute. After she is done with the friend dot, she comes back to her human form and realizes that now she is truly Kitty Gridwolf until she becomes an adult. Her lady tells her that she will now introduce the staff here. She tells Kitty that even though the schedule is a bit busy, she should please understand that they want to make sure that she will adapt well. Kitty mentions that as Oak and questions where are they going, her lady tells her that they have to go because the conference has not ended yet. She asks about the conference as her lady tells her that it is a 10-day wolf meeting and it has not ended yet, so she has to go, and she left halfway because they all urgently called her home behind both kids are holding onto his Duke, asking him to not go. Harley details Kitty that she finished her schedule but she has to go back, and although she is happy to have a lovely daughter, attending the meeting is her father's duty. Kitty mentions that if that is the case, then it cannot be avoided and she is very happy. Kitty does not seem to have a good expression on her face as her lady questions what is wrong. Kitty mentions that she thought because her lady had to catch fish, she had to go. Diane wonders where did she learn sentences like that. She questions that when the meeting is over, his Duke will come back. Her lady tells her that she will bring back wonderful gifts and she will leave early tomorrow morning, so she should not be too surprised if she does not see her. Kitty tells her lady that even though it is difficult, she will try, and she will find the teacher for her during the meeting. As there is someone in mind, Katie notices so many wolves as her lady reminds her that she is also a wolf, right? She ponders that she forgot as she flinches. Her lady tells her that other wolves will not scare her and everyone is looking at her with friendly eyes, even though it is only temporary. With this document, they will accept her as a member of Grid Wolf. Her lady tells her that Guide Wolf's staff will try to help her, and if not then she should please tell them at any time. She steps down as the servants introduces themselves as she's told that if she needs anything, she should ask them. One of them introduces herself as Flora and she's the head maid. She tells Kitty that it is an honor to meet her. Kitty greets her back and hopes that she can help. Said that she should not use honorifics with her because she is a member of Grid Wolf. Kitty states so she will do the same. She is then introduced to the butler Dot, who is Paul Clinton. He is a very excellent employee. He tells Kitty that it is an honor to serve the wonderful wolf lady. He tells her that he is in charge of managing the house. Then she is introduced to the head chef, who is known as Mina. Mina tells her that she's too skinny and she should come here and eat anytime. She's also given a gift for her and told that she should visit the garden often. After that, the captain of the knights, Elliot, introduces himself and mentions that he is the Duke's assistant. He tells Skye that she can call him Sir Elliot. She tells him this very nice to meet him. She notices someone behind him. She realizes it is a fox and thinks that this is the first time she has seen it this close. She's aware that foxes are sensitive to magic from birth, so most are magicians. He glares at her as she becomes shocked. Her lady asks her if she happens to be afraid of Clyde. He steps ahead and introduces himself as Clyde Foxstein. He tells her that he is the heir to the Fox family, but he is currently living with Grid Wolf. He states that she happens to be smaller than he thought and questions if she's really a wolf. She becomes shocked hearing that. She remembers that she was told foxes are very sensitive and sharp-eyed than other species. She notices that her cat ears are out. She knows that he is not just a fox, but also the heir to the Fox family. She thinks if she was discovered like this, she knows that they might throw themselves away for deceiving the wolf. She finds it impossible if she gets kicked out of here. She extends her hand, causing him to be stunned. She takes his hand and bites it. He's questioned how dare he be so disrespectful to her. Right then, his due calls out to him and gives him a glare. He apologizes, mentioning that he missed his words. She tells him to not do that again next time. Even Theo gets angry on him and questions if he still dares to be arrogant. He asks Kitty if she was scared. She tells him that she was a bit surprised, but it was okay. She finds it lucky that it seems like they do not think she's a cat. She questions why is the heir to the Fox family in the wolf house. Your response? It is due to the difficult situation with the leopard. The fox temporarily stayed at the wolf house for a while. Foxes are more sensitive to magic than they are, so they can help a lot. City is aware that wolves and foxes are not as closer as bears and wolves. She thinks that the fact that the fox had to ask the wolf for help shows that they are facing many difficulties. She's aware that she has to ask the teacher when she has a chance. She is now then introduced as the youngest daughter to Rena. Her lady tells Rena that she trusts her with the baby. Rena tells the kitty that it is an honor to take care of such a lovely lady, and that she introduces herself as Rena Gray and mentions that she received orders from the lady to take care of her. Kitty asks her if she will be there by her side every day. Rena mentions that if she needs her, she'll be there and asks Kitty to call her Rena. Kitty finds it really fun. Her lady is happy that Kitty likes her and mentions that it is late so Kitty should sleep. Kitty thanks her lady for introducing everyone to her today. She wishes good night to everyone and goes to sleep. She notices the door knock on her door and knows that even if it is bitten, it does not hurt, and wishes good night to Rena. But Rena stops her. She questions if she has to take a shower. Rena tells her yes before she goes to bed. She always has to take a shower. Kitty becomes shocked as she hates bathing. Hot water makes her feel stiff, and she hates that. She questions the nanny if they can sleep first and shower tomorrow. But the nanny tells her it is impossible. The nanny takes her to the washroom and tells her that tomorrow people will come to make clothes for her, and when preparing to welcome guests, she must be clean. She questions about it as the nanny tells her to choose her jewelry. They need to trim their hair, but because of the constraints, they will do it tomorrow morning. Kitty notices the soap bubbles and finds them beautiful. The nanny tells her that from today she will bathe with soap bubbles and the masters have brought back bath form for her. Kitty finds it so good as Rena wonders why does the bathroom smell so good. Kitty tells Rena to quickly give her a bath. After a while, it is now a bedtime for her. The nanny tells her that she must sleep early to grow fast. Could you ask Nanny that she has a question? The nanny tells her it is time for her to go to bed now, so she cannot answer. Kitty tells the nanny that she's so curious that she cannot sleep and questions about the situation with the fox that has to stay at Gridwall's house. The nanny mentions that the young lady is too young to understand this, and soon she will be given a tutor, so she should please ask him. Kitty questions if they can have just a little talk. Then Nanny apologizes and mentions that she does not have that right. Kitty thinks that the nanny is so tight-lipped. The nanny tells her that instead she can sing her lullabies, and she would sing as much as she wants. Kitty is happy because she likes listening to lullabies. The nanny does her, then she will sing for her. The goddess's hair flutters in the wind. Left hand holds the bow, right hand holds a mirror. The cat diligently pulls the card. The sky is as blue as a necklace. As after a while, Clyde is thinking about something as he is questioned why is not he sleeping. He is told that only when they grow strong enough, only then they can be independent. He tells the person to not mention it again as he's aware of that. He is not going any faster though. The person apologizes to him. He wonders that since that day, in order to restore the fox force that had been completely scattered, his role is very important. But to wait until he has enough magic power to reach adulthood. Too many people have to suffer. Living among wolves is not pleasant at all for him, and Leopard wants to take over the world of beastmen by using Blue Moon's magic power. He knows that foxes are the weakest passes, but the fox knows magic best, so it cannot be easily ignored. The bride wolf also believes that the fox will revive once the Blue Moon problem is resolved. They are not the type of people who work without benefits. He thinks about it and realizes that all the staff recognize the girl as a cat. She is a cat that is not afraid of foxes. He finds it funny to think about it. He begins to laugh. He calls out about her. He is questioned if he's thinking about the girl that the Grid Wolf family adopted as their youngest daughter. He questions why did they adopt her, as Grid Wolf is not the type of person who likes to take on extra burdens. The person thinks maybe it is because she is cute, as Grid Wolf only has 2 sons. He knows that it is also true, as it is said that the girl came and asked to be adopted, perhaps out of sympathy. Clyd thinks of her little hands, finding them really soft. Appreciates his head, trying to not think about it. He is aware that his Duke Jackal is not someone who creates weakness out of pity. Realizing maybe she is not an ordinary cat, but is related to the Blue Moon, he cannot help but think about it. It is the morning time as Kitty wakes up. She stretches her arms as the nanny asks her if she can come in. She allows the nanny to come in as she wishes Kitty a good morning. She tells Kitty that even though she is a wolf cub, she does not need much sleep, right? Kitty responds, "That is right. Little wolves really sleep a lot, but she is almost an adult." She states that she just needs to wait to meet the Tooth Fairy and she will become a fully grown adult. She's informed that the monsters are still sleeping at this time, and she has ordered the servants to bring food to the room, and they will probably be there soon. Kitty asks the nanny that they should eat together. The nanny responds that she has already had breakfast, and she cannot eat her food. Thick bacon, chewy dried salmon muffin with fragrant vanilla flavor, hot milk, sparkling tarts and pies, along with beautiful little desserts. Kitty is shocked and questions if she can eat all of this. She's told that she should eat a lot, as if she can feel heavy then she can focus on eating meat and milk to fill herself up. She is aware that in Jirian's territory, cats that do not work do not get food. Since she was 3 years old, she has been used to waking up early to work, even without this off or pay, but her job is easier than other little cats, so she cannot complain. She was asked to touch this gem and tell them if there was a special feeling about it. That she responded no. She begins to eat a lot as she knows that she must eat enough and grow quickly to avenge her mother. After she is done eating, she is told that it is time to cut off the damaged hair. She asks the nanny to cut off all her damaged hair. How much must be cut? The nanny tells her, if she wants to cut off all the damaged hair, then she has to shave it bald. She begins to get shocked, but the nanny tells her she can just trim it and then tie it up and she will be fine. For the rest, she should let her hair grow longer and cut it later. Cutting it short won't be able to manage her lady's thick hair. Kitty mentions that is better. Before she used to have short hair, and every morning her hair would puff up and look like a mushroom, which was very funny. It is done. Kitty looks at her hair. She thanks the nanny, stating that her hair feels lighter. The nanny tells her that she will tie her hair beautifully for her, so before choosing clothes she can go out for a bit, as wolf cubs have to run and jump a lot to gain muscles. Questioning what did she like to do when she was young, she responds she liked to sit on the wall and sunbathe. The nanny tells her that sunbathing is very good for the body. And what else? She responds that is all, as running and jumping will make her hungry quickly, which is not good at all. Then nanny mentions that at Gridwolf's house there's a lot of food. She should run around a lot, and if she's hungry then she can just run to the kitchen, and after eating she can play again. The nanny finds her so cute, stating that this dress is so urgent that it may not be to her liking. This afternoon the designer will come to make clothes for her. At that time she can choose many beautiful shirts. She responds that is okay as she thinks this dress is very beautiful. She knows there are so many beautiful dresses, thinking if it is okay to buy more. The nanny tells her of course is the lady spend a huge budget to buy things for her, equal to the total cost of clothes for both Masters Theo and Dion. Kitty ponders. Even though it was just a temporary adoption, they spent so much money on her. The nanny tells her that she is really cute and everyone will love her. It is not just the Grid Wolves family. Kitty questions if her lady will like it. The nanny asks her why does not she show the lady directly, but realizes that the lady is still preparing, as she said that she would leave early in the morning. Maybe it is because the lady is still young that she said that. 9 o'clock in the morning is still too early for a wolf cub. Kitty asks the nanny to take her where her lady is. Meanwhile, her lady tells Theo and Diane to take good care of Kitty and to not cause trouble. They notice that Kitty is here as she rushes towards them. All of them are shocked to see her. Finding her really adorable, her lady gets down questioning if she woke up early because of her. Equity tells her she does not have the habit of sleeping late, but she wanted to meet Mom. Her lady tells her to be good at home and thanks her for coming out. She hugs her really tightly. Kitty tells her to please be careful. Her lady asks Jackal to take good care of her. He responds that he will. Her lady then kisses Jackal. Kitty is shocked to see it before she goes and stands right behind Jackal. She stands at his place and stares at her lady questioning, "Is not this the place to kiss goodbye?" Her lady finds her so cute and gives her kisses, telling her if she was a little older she would take Kitty with her even if she had to put her in her pocket. As the carriage embarks on its journey, everyone wishes goodbye to her. Jackal is asked where the attendant can take the fake Blue Moon gem. He responds that he should put it in his office as he will get it right away. Kitty is listening to their conversation and thinks, if it is Blue Moon, then remembers something. She remembers once Jerian asked to bring another fake Blue Moon. She looks at Jackal and finds him glancing at her, but she asks him if there's something he wants to tell her. He asked, "Sir, what is the plan today?" She ponders. So he is interested in her, he's just not good at expressing it. He just looks like a bad guy, but he's actually a good guy. She tells him that after breakfast they will have a light snack, plow a little and then try on dresses, play more than have dinner, then dessert and play in the bubble bath before bed. She asks him what about him. He tells her he is busy. Theo and Diane tells his dad if he says it like that, Kitty will be scared. Jackal questions if that is really the case. They tell Katie that their dad is a friendly and gentle wolf. If there's something she does not understand, then she can ask them, and they will explain again. She asks him if he is busy. He tells her yes, he will be busy in his office all day. She questions, so what is the difference between being busy? She's told that means that he can come play anytime. Kitty becomes happy and states that she will definitely come. Nanny asks her if she wants a snack now. She tells her that she is full right now, so she wants to walk around here. Both Theo and Diane states that she wants to come with them and they will show her around the house. Kitty tells them ok, but they both should change clothes first. They both look at each other. After they are done with snacks, they are told that they should remember that after lunch they will try on clothes. We all responds that all right, they will remember it. Theo tells her that first he will show her the buildings attached to the mansion this way. He takes her to the banquet hall, mentioning that when people come to the Grid Wolf Mansion they gather here to eat together. She finds it an incredibly luxurious place. The next place he takes her to is the party hall. That spot over there is the dance floor. Diane states it is where she will dance with him later. Theo responds that he is the older brother, so he should dance with her first. Diane responds that he's a bad dancer. Theo replies that he can practice. They begin to argue together before she asks both of them to stop fighting. They go to the garden. Then as she's mesmerized, she knows that the mansion's garden looks like it covers all of the cat's territory. Theo asks her if they shall just explore the nearby eastern garden today. She questions what is in the eastern garden. He mentions there are roses and sunflowers and a large fruit orchard. It is a favorable place for the great wolf chefs and patissiers. When they get there, she becomes really astonished, seeing strawberries. Diane asks her how about she tries one instead of just smelling them? She questions if that is ok. He responds, of course. She then takes one of it and takes a bite, finding it really delicious. Diane asks her that she really likes the strawberries and that she can eat as many as she wants. She questions if it is ok to eat this much. He tells her it is fine as long as Philip the gardener does not catch them. That is when he appears. He greets both of them and asks her if she ate the strawberries. She shakes her head, telling him no, she did not. But he responds he knew it. The strawberries that ripened this time are not good enough to satisfy her. She responds no, they are very sweet and sour, causing him to question, so she did eat them. She realizes that she made a mistake. He gives her more of it and tells her she's really lovely and she can eat anything here as she pleases. She questions if she really can do it. He tells her yes. It is very rewarding to hear that she liked the strawberries. She thanks him. He asks her to please come again. On her way back, she mentions that being a gardener is such a wonderful job and she wishes she could do such a great job at the Grid Wolf Mansion. Diane tells her that if she walked around adorably with a duster, the employees would be too busy watching her to work. She tells him that being cute is not her job, right? He responds, of course, otherwise if being cute was a job, she would be overworked every day. They imagine her saying that it is tough being cute every day and she needs a day off. Dian tells her that right now she needs to eat a lot and sleep well to get chubby. When she grows up, she will become someone amazing. Theo states, of course, as she is a grid wolf. They take the steps towards a place as she questions, "What is this?" Dian tells her it is a memorial stone. She questions, "Whose grave is it?" They tell her that the grave is elsewhere. This is a memorial for the wolves who died. It is inscribed with the names of the wolves who were sacrificed by leopards who lost their minds because of Blue Moon. She prays for them that may they be happy where salmon float around. Right then Theo mentions that they are in trouble. He mentioned that it seems like people from the wardrobe are here. Dian tells her that they have seen the Eastern Gardens. They should go back. And asks her if her feet hurts. She tells them that her foot is throbbing because of the broken toenail, but she tells them that she can walk. Dian tells her to not lie to her brothers. Theo mentions that she will need her energy to fit her cute dress. He asks Dian if he can do it. Dian responds okay and asks her to not be surprised. Right then, he suddenly changes into his wolf form. She is totally taken aback as Theo grabs her, telling her that he had told her to not be surprised. She is totally shocked and questions if this big wolf really is brother Dian. He asks her to climb on. She asks him how is his wolf form so big. She is told that once one reaches a certain amount of magic, they can increase their size proportional to her strength. It is useful in combat and for moving around like this. Theo also climbs on and tells her that their father has so much magic power that he can transform much bigger. She wonders if she will grow this big if she studies hard too. While in the mansion, the nanny asks them to prepare the clothes here, as if time allows the masters will come while she's getting ready. People converse if they should start before the Grid Wolf members arrive. They decide to do that. One of them smirks. The nanny tells her that she is glad to see that Kitty seemed to enjoy the walk. She also states that about men's clothes and that it would have been nice if her lady had been here, as her lady would have known. Kitty asks her nanny if she's not going with her natural self, that of course she will go with her and help her. She can take care of the clothes, but she will be difficult because she does not have access to many expensive jewelry. Kitty is aware that the brothers said they could not come because they had assignments to do, even though they also wish to see her fashion show. She notices Elliot. He greets her as she tells him it looks like he's busy and asks him if Jackal is also busy. He tells her that he is not sure exactly because he is on his way to see him right now. He also questions why she is looking for him. She tells him that she is on her way to get a dress tailored, and since Jackal is looking cool, it would be helpful if he would come. Elliot tells her that he would still look distinguished even if he was covered in a sack of flour, and that he will make sure to convey her compliments to him. She thanks him. When she arrives in the room, she is surprised to see all the dresses. The designers tells her that they are glad to see her and introduces themselves, stating that it is an honor to produce customs for Karis Gridwolf. The nanny mentions that they seem to have been given the wrong information as they did not call them for her lady's clothes today. Kitty realizes that they cannot see her since she is small. The designer's questions, did not the nanny say that her lady will be fitting her clothes today? The nanny asks Kitty to introduce herself. She introduces herself as a brave little baby wolf named Kisha. She was adopted into the wonderful Gridwolf family until she became an adult. The designer remains quiet as she wonders why is the atmosphere like this. The designer finds her very precise and stylish and tells her that she will fit the clothes with all her heart. Mr. Designer tells her that if his wife says so, he will do his best and that it is an honor. The question if they can call her by her name as she tells them yes, she likes it. The woman finds her so cute, thinking that the doll is talking. After checking so many dresses, he's surprised she finds all of them so cute. The designer tells them these are ball outfits made as a hobby by Mish and Miss. They made them with real jewels, expensive fabrics, but they did not sell well to wealthy people. But she would not be able to carry it all that fits those claws because it's the size of her body weight. The nanny tells her that they are doing it for her. She thinks about doll clothing. That it's a designer asks her if she has a design that she prefers, as these days it is a trend to fit riding clothes among ladies. It seems comfortable and good for everyday life. If the tail sticks out by mistake, it would be hard to hide. She tells her that a skirt would be nice as she likes it more with lots of frills. They tell her that since they have prepared the fabric, would she like to take a look, as if she likes the fabric and color they will adjust it. The lady asks her if she has a favorite color. She responds that she likes the color of ripe peaches. The lady becomes teary-eyed questioning, so she also likes the ripe peach color. She also asks Kitty how about she feels the velvet. She accidentally touches her hands and holds it, mentioning that her hands are really soft. If she wears a white lace gloves or red fur gloves, it would be really cute. Right then, they hear a voice stating that this is shameful. They turn around to find the jackal, and Theo and Dion. Dion tells his father that he is telling them to study while he's going to watch Kitty's fashion show by himself. Michael tells him that if he is mad, then he should get married and have a daughter. Kitty becomes happy to see Jackal and Elliot. The designer is still thinking about how she should try on gloves. She checks the accessories as she is questioned if she is interested in them. She looks at the woman's smile. The woman asks her if she's interested in her, but she tried this hat. She remembers it is just like Jerian's smile. He tells the woman that it is really pretty, but it is for adults, so she does not think she can use it. The woman asks her to wear it just once as brooch decoration is key. Stating that they can resize the hat to fit her size and then just attach the brooch, she mentions it is really pretty. The woman states that she has a good eye, stating that the G was attached to the brooch is the finest pink period. Thanks to this, the price is a little high. Kitty wonders why are there a lot of zeros. The woman asks Kitty if she likes the hat. Why doesn't she go and tell the nanny? If she's from the Grid Wolf, then she would not skimp on their daughter's budget. The woman continues to tell her that a brooch decorated with this large pink peridot is something that she won't be able to get anywhere else. It fits perfectly with the quality of Grid Wolf, and if she adds gray feathers to it, even a mouse will feel like a Grid Wolf. Kitty wonders if this person realized that she was not a wolf, as even if she knew that Kitty is a cat, she was trying to sell it to her by insulting her. The woman mentions that since she's so cute, she will remove one more zero, and the price mentioned earlier is probably too burdensome to ask her to buy it. Kitty tells her that she is thankful for the compliment, but she needs to remove 3 more zeros. The woman asks her what does she mean by that. Kitty states that she knows that the brooch is not set with peridots, but with colored glass, so it is incorrect to say that she is giving her a discount because she is cute, questioning if that woman thinks that she is overworking her cuteness to just remove 1 zero. The woman remains quiet as Kitty leaps. Kitty ponders that she looks like a sucker and that she probably did not know what she did while she was under Jerian. Jackal glances at her. It is mentioned that Jerian was making accessories with well-crafted fake gems. She ran a business that exchanged what was left over for accessories containing real jewelry. And she was also in charge of identifying the jewels in the basket. She would take a look at it and give it to him. He asked her that he thinks that she can distinguish real gems. Somehow she could tell the difference between fake and real jewels, thinking if that is why he gave her such a job. The reason is that her mother, who had been pampering her so much and embracing the little ones, ate the food at home. Come to think of it, what was she planning to spend all that money on? The nanny asks Kitty if she feels uncomfortable. Kitty responds that she should not and questions if she should try on the clothes quickly. She is told that they are all ready now and she can go ahead and try them. She wears the first one, causing everyone to be surprised. Elliot states that there must be a reason why the knights have been praising her cuteness for days. Jackal finds it a shame that his wife cannot see it. Theo and Dion finds her very cute. She looks at herself in the mirror and mentions it looks really beautiful, and it is comfortable to move around as well. The designer tells her that this frilly dress was inspired by a large pumpkin. They tell her to try the next as she tries a lot of dresses, and every time all of them finds her adorable. In the last one she asks them if this outfit does not suit her. Jackal questions how does the outfit feel? She tells him that it is very comfortable and pretty, and she likes the hairpins and shoes too, so she is satisfied with this outfit. The designer asks her if she would like to wear this outfit. She tells her that now that she has tried on many clothes, they should start picking out the ones they will want to buy. She mentions that this outfit is her favorite. Theo tells his father that ordering 5 sets with that design was an excellent choice. Dion tells her that he has decided to move all the clothes displayed over there to her closet, and it will be hard to try them all on right now. She is shocked as she looks at all of the clothes, questioning if they are buying all of those. She asks Jackal one note these clothes become outdated before she try them all on. Jackal tells her then they will adjust them again, stating that she said she liked what she is wearing now the most. She looks at her dress as Jackal asks the designer if that is possible. The designer asks him, so when he is painting the family portrait, is he talking about the uniforms for the Gridwolf family? He responds that is what his wife wants. She questions based on the designs he liked the most, should she make 5 sets. She then calculates the price as Kitty tries to keep her eyes on the receipt. Kitty becomes shocked, wondering how many zeros are there in this figure. He tells the designer that it seems to be quite different from the budget set. Kitty begins to wonder what if Gridwolf goes bankrupt because of her. He tells the designer that there is plenty left over there, so they should buy those too, causing Kitty to be confused. He questions if all the accessories there are genuine. He is told that they are, and the child earlier was selling external items along with them. Everything displayed here is a genuine item that has been appraised. Jackal looks at Kitty before he tells everyone that is enough, and they should go now. In the mansion, Kitty thanks everyone for coming. Jackal pets Kitty on the head. He asks her about the meal as she tells him that she ate a lot of strawberries and cucumbers. She questions what about him. He responds that roughly he thinks he should go back to the office now. Theo and Diane looks at them. They tell Kitty that their father will be in the office all day today. Tyr mentions that he took a quick look earlier and they brought something into the office that she would like. Kitty thinks about it as three of them stare at Jackal. Kitty asks Jackal if she can visit his office. He tells her of course he can. He picks her up. He tells Elliot about the Blue Moon forgery case he mentioned earlier, that he will listen to the additional report later. Elliot tells him he understands and asks him to please enjoy his time with Kitty. As Kitty goes in there, she ponders. It feels a bit different from when she came last time. She asks him if this baby cradle is used by the brothers. Jackal tells her yes. He asks her about snacks, but she tells him that she is full now, and if she needs anything later, she will let him know since there are so many questions that she wants to ask him today. He finds her still small and light. She tells him since she has not tried on all the clothes they bought today, she thinks that she will refrain from growing up for a while. He slightly smiled. He tells her to first measure the height and ask the questions. She thinks that the brothers often come to the office. She tells him that if he looks closely, she is not that skinny. He stares at her shoes as she tells him all right, she will take them off. He asks her to not tiptoe as she stands right in front of the shelf. He tells her that holding her breath and puffing out her chest does not make her taller. She exhaled all the breath out as he then checks it and tells her it is done. She is shocked to see that she was this small. He mentions she is the same as Theo and Dion when they were 4 years old. This causes her to be taken aback. She notices a box. She remembers the conversation earlier when he told Elliot to leave it in his office. She wonders if that is what he had reported this morning. The Blue Moon imitation product. She can't help but look at the box. It draws her attention and she feels a strong curiosity about what might be inside. He notices her staring and gently tells her that if it were something else, he would have shown it to her. However, he explains that the box contains a cursed gem, so he cannot let her see it. Hearing this, she feels a bit embarrassed, realizing she must have been staring too intently at the box. She starts to wonder about the cursed gem. What if it really is cursed? What does that mean for her? He mentions that the gem might not be dangerous for her. This makes her think deeply. Could it be that she is not the only one at risk from the cursed gem? He goes on to explain that the gem inside the box is an imitation made by extracting a tiny bit of the magic from a gem called Blue Moon. He tells her that if the gem does not affect her negatively, it might be because she is a special child. She tells him that even her late mother said that she had a special power. He tells her that her father's name was Icarus. She tells him yes, her brother's name too was it. He mentions that it is quite a common name. In the future, it is best to not speak lightly to anyone about special powers. She is confused as she tells him she really does not know what that special power is. He states that it does not matter whether she knows about the power or not or how she can handle it. People covered talent and special things. If they cannot possess them, they are satisfied with destroying them. So in the future, she should not tell anyone outside of the Grid Wolf family. She seems a bit sad as she tells him. All right. She then asks him if he's aware about her father. He tells her that he would not say he is to that extent. She asks him to just tell her a little bit. She wants to hear more about her dad. He steps towards her and tells her that he will tell her when she is going up a bit more. It is too early and she's still young. She tells him all right and she trusts him. He stares at her for a while as he mentions that she seems impatient, so he will tell her a little bit. He questions if she has heard the song about the goddess, the lullaby about a cat pulling a carriage. The name of the blue jewel necklace in that song is Blue Moon. It is a jewel that makes humans lose their reason and be captivated by animal instincts and madness. She becomes scared, realizing that terrifying jewel's imitation is there. He tells her that right now it is safely stored in a specially made jewel box that blocks its magic, so she does not have to be afraid. She ponders that she gets it was obvious that she was scared. He mentions that they will have to investigate further, and from what he knows, a wealthy man named Icarus was investigating the Blue Moon. She suddenly gasps. Becoming really surprised, she remembers that she heard her mom and brothers are hero, but this is the first time she has heard about researching a legendary jewel. She wonders if that was something her dad started, causing her to think, why did he start? To understand this story, she's aware that she will need to become smarter. She wants to grow up quickly and hear more about her dad. She notices that his Duke is working without getting distracted. Knowing that it has already been a few hours, she thinks that working like this is so cool, and she wants to see her lady working too someday. Thinking, would not it be so cool? She then wonders why he's staring at her like that. It is her ears, as she tells him she will put it in quickly. He tells her that he wants to bite it. This causes her to be shocked. She questions, really? He mentions this is how one says she's cute in Gridwolf family. She thinks that wolves are really tough. She wonders how can he say something cute in such a scary way. She knows that right now she is a baby wolf, and he said that it is because she is adorable. She gets on the desk and sits near him, telling him that if it is just once then maybe it won't hurt and it is okay. She closes her eyes and thinks that she wants to be praised in wolf style for once too. She opens her eyes to find him smiling a little. She ponders that wolves do not bite just because they want to. He notices that she is suddenly laughing. She tells him that she is usually quick to be happy and she enjoys talking to him. Ok questions if that is the case. It is already nighttime as he is working. He looks at the cradle and notices her sleeping in her cat form. He ponders that he has never seen a cat in his life. He wonders if cats are always like this. He pets her and thinks that it is say that the goddess who created this world traveled in a carriage pulled by a car. The cat that the goddess petted was immune to magic. In order for the goddess who will appear in the world again, pass down the name Icarus for generations. Kitty was relieved that it was a common name, but Icarus is never a common name, and the last Icarus died in the bear's domain. This could be the key to everything. Is it the providence of God or something else? It is nighttime when she wakes up, feeling surprised that it is already dark. She realizes she must have slept for a long time during her nap. The nanny asks her if she had a good time. She responds yes, and she took a nap in his office too. He also gave her a picture book as a gift, telling Nanny that he is very kind. Someone knocks on the door as she asks them to come in. It is an attendant as he mentions this is a letter for her. She thinks about it. A new day begins. Kitty knocks on the door. Diane questions, "Who is it?" It is Kitty as Diane asks her if she came because she missed them. She tells them that she wants to study and questions if she can study with them. He tells her of course. The room is a bit messy, but she can come in. Theo mentions that he wants to join too. Diane asks her what is she studying. She tells him that her lady sent her a letter and she is going to practice writing letters diligently and make invitations. She wrote to her daughter that she will allow the nanny to read this letter for her baby wolf daughter. It was that she does not know if she is doing well. Every time she tells the wolves in the meeting room that she has become their family, she feels very happy and she missed seeing her all. So she's thinking of opening a simple party to introduce her dot, and if it is Oak with her, she would like her to make invitations for the party to the Ways family. It is Oak if the letters are crooked since she has not started studying in earnest. She does not have to use difficult words, but she hopes she writes inviting with sincerity. Diane asks her if she's planning a party. She responds that her lady also made textbooks for her. Diane questions if they shall start with basic letters first. As he picks her up, she excitedly responds yes. They began to write that she invites them to the party. She thinks that learning letters is really hard as it feels like there's a mouse at the end of the tail. Diane mentions that she is good at copying and questions if she can copy more difficult letters. She does him, of course, if she practices a lot, she will be able to write even more beautifully. Someday she will be able to write a long letter to her brothers. He asks her then would she like to try writing this letter. She asks him what does it mean. He tells her it is difficult so he cannot write it. She knows that she learned it quickly. Theo questions what is Diane asking Kitty to do. Diane makes her write that Brother Diane is the best. Theo states that he thinks writing Brother Theo is the best is a good sentence to practice writing letters. She writes both of them as they dial her that she has done a good job and it is not as crooked as he thought. She knows that if she practices she will get better. Diane tells her that is right. Since her brothers are leaving for a long journey, she must know how to write letters. She questions if he's going far and where are they going. Diane begins to cry, telling her that he is already worried about leaving her. Theo mentions that when wolves reach a certain age, they leave to learn how to fight, but that is a long way off. She tells them that she will practice writing quickly. By the time they leave, she will be an adult so she can write a long letter. Theo tells her to be sure to stamp her seal on every letter because they might suspect that it is from someone else. Diane mentions that that would be a good idea as everyone will think it is a letter she wrote. She asks them what do they do at a party. She almost forgot because she was practicing her handwriting. Diane mentions that a party is for social gathering. They will drink tea in a greenhouse-like place. There will be lots of bright flowers. since it is the first time introducing Kitty, would not they have dinner together? After the meal, they can dance spontaneously. Kitty likes dancing. They both question if they shall practice for a tea party together. Should they ask for lots of snacks prepared in the kitchen? Equity questions if it is ok that they do not finish studying today. What about the training in the training room? They tell her that they took care of that task early this morning. She smiles and thanks them. Then both of them gently lift her up, and she laughs, saying she likes it when they do that. Outside, they are having a lovely tea party. The garden is beautiful and the weather is perfect. She keeps staring at the delicious snacks on the table. There are little cakes, cookies, and sandwiches, all looking very tempting. Theo notices her eager eyes and smiles. He says, "You shouldn't stare so eagerly at the snacks." She looks at him and asks, should she resist even if they smell so delicious? Theo nods and replies, "Yes, that's right. Snacks are just a side dish for tea. Tea is the main part, and it's prepared for conversation." So she questions if conversation is ultimately important. Dian states that she is smart and that she should give it a try. She then mentions that during molting, when fur is falling, are they all brushing their hair? They are playing the role of ladies. As to your address, is Dian as a lady, and tells that it is a real shame to mock other ladies at a reception. The young questions if he is a lady, and then he gets into the role and apologizes to Lady Kitty, stating that it is definitely rude to laugh at a cute baby wolf. Kitty states that at tea parties, treating Kitty like a child is not allowed. She tells them that she will not let them touch her soft paws. Dian gets down on his knees and apologizes to her, telling her to not be angry. Theo thanks her for preparing the place today, and questions, was not the invitation very pretty? Did she write it herself? She does that, yes, she wrote it, and asks if he saw her paw seal inside. She applied plenty of aromatic oil to her palms every night to make a beautiful stamp and slept, and she is really relieved that he liked it. Theo tells her that when drinking tea, she should not get excited or talk first. She questions what if a wolf ear pops out during the party. He mentions that she's a baby wolf, so it might happen, but just in case she should wear a hat. She mentions if her ears suddenly pops out, the head will flutter and everyone will think that she has hidden a nest in her head. She asks them will other attendees keep their ears hidden. Dian responds maybe, as excellent wolves only show their ears when their hearts are very moved, telling her that when she meets a champion she wants to live with for the rest of her life, wolves' ears naturally pop out. Yes, wolves are said to stay with one partner for their whole life. She thinks this is really cute and wonders who might love her like that. Theo and Dian hear her and look at each other, worried. They think her words are scary and decide they must avoid such relationships. They especially agree that Eden Ways should not get involved in something like this. Eden, who doesn't know what they are talking about, suddenly feels strange. He stops and looks around, confused, wondering if someone is talking about him. She questions who is Eden. Theo tells her that she will soon meet him at the party. He also mentions that he is a young wolf older than her, but 2 years younger than them. Dian mentions that he is the unfortunate and only son of the Wheaties family. She questions, what does it mean to be unfortunate? Theo tells her to forget that she heard it, as it is nothing that she would say. She's aware that from what she has heard, there were hidden circumstances among the 3 young wolf lords that she did not know about. When the relationship between the 2 families was good, Eden, Theo, and Dian were said to get along very well. Theo once asked him what book is he reading. Dian found the book boring as there were no pictures. It was said that Theo and Dian would unilaterally approach Eden while he was reading a book. Eden, who was smart enough to read difficult books with ease, might have found Theo and Dian annoying. He told them that he cannot hang out with stupid people. Dian is still angered by it, as he tells Kitty that that is what he said. Theo mentions that he will never fall for Kitty, so they should not worry. She wonders that saying someone is unlucky is a bad word. Dian mentions that other guys are no good, but that guy is even worse. The nanny approaches them. Theo asks her what is going on. They are informed that the madam has arrived. This causes the 3 of them to be shocked. They all run towards the place. His Duke stands outside, waiting for her as she steps outside the carriage. Kitty is very happy to see her. His Duke looks at her and questions what is going on. She tells him that she is waiting for her turn because she's a good baby wolf who stands in line well. His Duke tells her that she is ok to go ahead and she can meet her first. It becomes happy and thanks his Duke. Kitty runs to her lady and hugs her tightly. She mentions that she is glad that her lady came back early. Her lady tells Katie that she is glad to see her too and questions if she has been well. She tells her lady that she has been enjoying practicing for the party with her brothers, and she is happy that her lady is here too. Her lady tells Kitty that she really wants to bite her, causing Kitty to be startled. Kitty closes her eyes, waiting for her to do that before her lady approaches her and kisses her. Her lady tells Kitty that she bought a gift for her. Kitty thinks that she should thank her. The box is opened as Kitty mentions it is a really nice box, and she believes that the fabric inside is really soft too. She thinks that it will definitely be comfortable. Her lady picks her up to show her the gift, telling her the actual gift is inside, and she could not resist getting it when she thought of Kitty. Kitty looks at all the things, finding stationery inside. Her lady asks her if she likes it. She responds that she thinks these colored pencils are really pretty. Her lady tells her that even though she is temporarily staying here, whenever Kitty needs colored pencils, she cannot borrow from Theo or Dion. She can just hurry up and get it. Kitty thanks her lady. She decides to then go for the peach color, wolf color and sky color, as well as grass color. Her lady asks her if she does not like the other colors. She responds that all of them are pretty, so it is difficult to choose, and wonders if she picked too much. Her lady tells her that she should just probably take everything. Kitty questions if she can actually have all of it. Her lady tells her that Theo and Diane already have colored pencils. Kitty ponders that if she buys such expensive colored pencils, it could cost a lot of money. She thinks, what if the Wolf clan is wrecked because of her and they end up going poor? Theo tells her to not worry because Grid Wolf family is very rich, so she does not have to choose only the colors that she likes. She questions if she really can do that. Diane tells her yes she can, as it means that her mother and father gives her presents so she can study hard. She thanks them and decides to study really hard. Her lady tells her that in fact it is a little late to talk about the teacher who will help her study. She will see them at the party in a few days. Kitty asks her lady if she's here to see her teacher. Her lady tells her there is a very smart wolf in the Weavies family that leads the pack along the Grid Wolf. Mentioning that Wadies and Grid Wolf are also friends, she will learn a lot from spending time together. Dion questions if she is not going to leave Kitty with Eden, is she? Her lady tells Dion that Eden is around her age. Is not he? He knows a lot and has a calm personality, so he will definitely be a good friend to Kitty. Theo does not like Eden. Her lady tells him to watch his language in front of his sister. Theo mentions that Eden only cares about himself. He will tease Kitty just like they did to us. Dion states that he will surely hurt her too. Her lady tells both of them that it has not even been 4 years since Eden lost his mother to leopards. Anyone who loses something precious will become a thorn, and they also push away other precious things. When something approaches, they fear losing it. Dion mentions that since Lady Weedy passed away, Eden has been mean to them, questioning if it is because he cherishes them. Her lady tells them that they do know better, that Eden isn't a bad wolf. She guesses that only Eden can answer that question. Both of them remains quiet. Kitty wonders what kind of wolf is Eden. She is not sure, but it is a bit harsh to say that she could not get along with bad guys. She thinks that if he becomes her teacher, she is sure that she will learn a lot. Thinking if she can handle the wolf's cunning as a cat, if she can keep up with the wolf's level, she is aware that she should have studied in advance. Dean asks her what is she thinking now. She mentions that she thought it would be good to start studying quickly. She asks the brothers if they can teach her. They tell her that of course they have tried so hard work to be called Idiotic Wolf by Eden. Her lady tells Dion that she told him not to say harsh words in front of Kitty. Security thinks about the word unlucky and stupid. She calls Jerian not only unlucky but also stupid. Time passed and the day of the tea party arrived. The Kitty is told that today Mr. Hotwook and his son Eden will be coming. The hostess of the Weedy family passed away 4 years ago during the rampage of the leopards. When she was alive, she was a wonderful strategist who commanded the entire wolf unit. Eden also resembled Mrs. Weavies and was often called a fox. 4 years ago during the rampage of the leopards, she was young so she does not remember much, but her mom and dad mentioned it several times so she knew about it. It was also then that the leopards ate her tail. Even with her tail cut off like that, she's still called a leopard. She wonders how much does Eden, who lost his mother, hate leopards. She wonders if it is as much as she hates and despises Jerian. Kitty asks the nanny to tie her hair a bit higher today. Even if her wolf ears stick out, they will be hidden by her hair. The nanny tells her that she understands. All of them stand outside to welcome the Weedy family. She becomes startled as it is announced that they are here. She questions if this means that they're coming to visit. She cannot help but think if this means that they find her cute again this time and wants to take her away. Theo tells her that their coming means that they're entering and asks her if it is a bit hard to understand. They tell her to not worry too much as they should go and greet them now. Hogwood steps in and states that she must be the little one that her lady talked about. She becomes shocked as she stares at him, thinking that he has much more muscles than his Duke. She notices that he has such wolf-like eyes too. She calls out to him and tells him that she is the adopted child kitty of the Wolf clan. He laughs and states that just like what her lady said, she is incredibly cute like a doll. She becomes scared as someone states that she is getting scared over something like this and calling herself a wolf. They all look at that person as it is Eden. She notices that he is giving her a cold stare the first time they meet. She thinks that no matter how she looks at it, he does not seem to think highly of her. Eden greets his Duke and her lady. He questions how have they been. They respond that except for deciding to take in Kitty, everything has been the same as usual. Eden mentions that he heard the news that they decided to take her in for temporary care. She ponders that it seems like he emphasized the word temporary on purpose. She thinks that she will not ask them to think of her as a real family member, and she is grateful just for being fed and protected. He then mentions that he feels a bit dizzy from reading in the carriage and asks if he may rest for a while. Eden is then guided to his room. Hogwood apologizes on Eden's behalf, stating that he is a bit prickly. She tells him that it is alright and she will just think that Eden is having a hard time because of motion sickness. He tells Kitty that she is indeed a brave little wolf, just like her lady said. He mentions that his greetings are late and introduces himself as Hogwood. She takes his hand as he is short. She ponders that it seems like Lord Hogwood likes her soft hands too. The Duke states that he heard her nickname is Soft Paws. Hogwood responds that is a well-chosen nickname and questions if his Duke likes it too. He thinks about his wife, mentioning that when his wife was still alive, Eden was also gentle and kind. At some point, he closed his heart. He used to get along well with Theo and Dion, but after his wife died, he stayed close to Eden. Thinking perhaps because he was often absent when he was young, he does not seem to rely on him. She thinks that either lost his mother at a younger age than she did. She questions if he dislikes meeting people and came here just because of her. She is told that it seems he avoids socializing more than before, but becoming her teacher was because of him. With the leopard starting to act up, he needs to start moving again. He told Eden that he was worried because he might need to be away from the mansion for a long time, so he decided to stay and be her teacher at Griff Wolf. She thinks that for Eden, taking the position of Grid Wolf's tutor was a good opportunity. She's aware that there is no reason for him to look at her coldly as soon as he sees her. Her lady tells her that since there is a lot of time left until dinner, they will have a simple tea time and asks if she can take charge of the children's table. She responds of course she can. She's aware now is not the time to be silent and that she should just prepare for a joyful tea time. After a while she wears a hat as she thinks if her cat ears suddenly pop out in front of Eden, she will be laughed at again. She calls out the maids, they inform the others that she has arrived, and they thank her for remembering their names, telling her that she has such a great memory. She questions if brother, Theo, Dion, and Eden are all coming. They tell her that the butler asked, and he confirmed that Master Eden will be joining them as well. It seems like his emotion sickness has subsided. She becomes happy and mentions that she will help with the preparations. They tell her that they can handle it, it is okay, but she mentions that she wants to do it and asks them to please let her do it. Eden stands in the corner as he looks at her. He realizes that she's a cat as he ponders a cat staying in a wolf mansion. This is no joke. A weak being inevitably becomes a burden for a strong being. He thinks about the past. His father was holding him when he was young, and he questioned about his wife. He was told that his wife's body was severely damaged, so it would take a few more days for the funeral. It was that the lady overexerted and rushed into the enemy's camp. He knew that it was all right, as protecting Eden was his wife's choice. Eden had tears in his eyes. Back in the present, Kitty asks Eden when did he arrive. He mentions that with her abilities, she won't notice his presence. She tells him that she is happy that he is going to be her teacher, but he tells her he is not happy particularly, he hates her, but he tells her that he is just not interested in her, and it is obvious that a weakling like her will be a burden to the wolf pack if they say temporary adoption until she reaches adulthood. He asks her to not cause any unnecessary trouble and behave quietly. That is the only way for a powerless animal to preserve its life. She tells him that she will not live like that. She tells him that right now her teeth are broken, her pronunciation is bad, and she is scrawny. But she will get stronger and stronger, and then with her own hands she will avenge her mother. People questions if that means that she came to the Grid Wolf pretending to be a wolf even though she is a cat. She is startled as she realizes he is aware of her identity. She tries to act dumb, questioning what is he talking about. She's a little wolf. He asks her if she takes him for a fool. She wonders how does Eden know that she's a cat, thinking if he smelled the cat scent, but she's aware if that were the case, all the wolves present would have realized her identity too. She then thinks that probably means that her brothers were right and that Eden must be a genius. He figured out her identity, which even the leader of the wolves could not. He asks her to answer his question. Why did she come to Grid Wolf disguising her species and accepting temporary adoption? She does not know how to respond, but she decides to open up and tell him it is because she wants to avenge her mother. She states that she has the goal of avenging her mother and the little one. He asks her what are the little ones. She tells him that they were the babies inside her mom's belly and she thinks they would have been really cute if they were born. He asks her would not it be better to return to the cat's territory and live in hiding. She tells him that if she did that, she would have to live hidden in the Meow Forest or Meow Mountains like a shadow, and her mom would not want that. He questions how would she know what a dead person wants. She places her hand on her heart, telling him that every time they went to sleep, her mom would hug her with all her strength, so tightly that she could hear her heartbeat. It was that if she is happy with her, mom will be happy too. She questions, is not it wonderful to be able to remember someone's heartbeat like a voice? She tells him that she cannot go back to the cat's territory and live in hiding. If she is not happy, then her family in heaven won't be happy either. The Fridwolfs also held a funeral for her family, and say they would take care of her until she becomes an adult. So she wants to grow up here. He stares at her for a while as she thinks that he seems a bit different from before. Right then she grabs onto him. She asks him if he is going to tell the other wolves that she's a cat. He tells her that he has no intention of spreading that information. She questions if that is really the case. He does her that his job is just to teach her some basics in exchange for staying at Grid Wolf. So why should he bother with troublesome things? She tells him it is because it seems like he does not like her. She remains quiet for a while before she tells him that is her right. She is really just a weak and pitiful little kitten, mentioning that if he were to throw her out, she would not last long before being devoured by the leopards, and if she gets eaten then he won't be able to stay here anymore. He asks her if she is threatening him right now. She tells him that is not at all what she is doing. He smiles a little as she is shocked. She cannot believe that he just now smiled. He asked her what? He tells her that it is almost tea time, so why does not she finish up reparations quickly? She's not sure if she just imagined that or did that actually happen. Theo and Dawn joins them and asks her how did the preparations go. Dian asks Eden, did not he just come out early and bother his little sister? Did he? She tells them. That is not at all the case, and that Eden was very kind to her. She ponders that he should stop laughing at the survival strategy of a weak animal. Both of them ask Kitty if she was threatened by Eden as he cannot be kind. She does them. Of course not, he is her tutor. Theo tells her that her answer was a bit delayed and questions if she was really threatened. Dian tells Eden that if he dares to do anything to their kitty, before Eden questions anything. They wonder if Eden really did not do anything. They tell Eden that whatever he is thinking right now, it is not allowed even if it is temporary, she's still their sister. After a while, all of them are having tea together. Theo asks Kitty if she would like to explain the desserts that she prepared. She tells them yes, this is an egg tart that's very delicious when dipped in milk. He mentions it looks really good. She also tells them that it's a cream puff that melts in one's mouth when eaten with milk. Eden tells her that she seems to really like milk. She becomes startled. Everyone is staring at her as then Dian and Theo mentions that their kitty is still a little wolf, so it is okay for her to like milk, and that embarrassing a lady is not something a wolf should do. Eden questions who is already Harry. Dion shows her and tells him their overworked Softpaw is still a proper young lady, and that he should look at her cute hat. Eden questions overwork, asking is not she just playing and eating, and she must be very busy. His Duke stares at them. She wishes for him to please help her. He then stands up and goes towards them. He asks Eden if he's enjoying the tea and desserts prepared by their little wolf. He seems a bit startled as he states that she might make some mistakes since she's a little wolf, but he hopes that she still enjoys it. Eden seems a little angry. His Duke tells Kitty that he will introduce her to the adult wolves as she goes with him. He picks her up and takes her. She shows him her tongue, thinking that from this distance he won't see this. She shows him her tongue, thinking that from this distance he won't see this. But his Duke tells her that Eden can tell what she's doing just by watching how her facial muscles move. They are back towards the adult area as they question if that child is Kitty. She introduces all of them, telling them that it is nice to meet them and she is Kitty, the little wolf temporarily adopted by the Grid Wolf family. She smiles warmly at all of them. They talk about that. For now, they should focus on continuing to gather and research the leopard's fake blue moons as much as possible. The other one mentions that it cannot be helped and there is no other way. Hogwood notices both of them staring at the other table from time to time. He thinks that they are really concerned with that table over there earlier, as they keep on staring. They say that she was their temporary adopted daughter until she became an adult. His Duke then tells Hogwood that Eden keeps talking to Kitty. His father responds, "Is not it natural to talk? Talking to someone you are interested in is in a wolf's instinct." Both of them stares at him, questioning interest. He then says that Kitty is cute, is not she? They both are aware that it's true. He thinks that it seems like this couple does not understand the meaning of temporary. They say temporary, but at this point is not she just their daughter? His Duke has his eyes on the other table. Right then, Kitty asked for his help as he went towards her and questioned if Eden was enjoying the tea and the desserts that Kitty prepared. His father looked at him and laughed. He ponders that he knows that one of her father's wolf instincts is to block males who are interested in his daughter. Do you think he would be just like this a month after temporary adopting her? And he's a serious fool for his daughter. He does not know which unfortunate guy will become Kitty's husband, but he is in for a rough time. They come back as he stated that they are finally back. Her lady mentions that she will introduce their adopted daughter, who will be living at the Gridwolves mansion until she becomes an adult. He notices her lady tone and thinks that it reminds him of back then, while in the past he questioned the couple if that is really true. He told them that this is a reason for celebration. He congratulates them from the bottom of his heart. She was really happy back then, as he thinks, to hear that voice again. Just how much did she want a daughter? Kitty introduces herself, stating that she is the little boy that is temporarily adopted by the Gridwolf family. They find her really cute, questioning how can she be so cute. They tell her that they received the invitation she sent to their mansion and it had an adorable handprint on it. She tells them that she's glad that they liked her soft handprint. His Duke tells her that he did hear that her nickname is Soft Paws. They ask her how did she manage to write such pretty letters with these hands. She tells them that she learned diligently from her brothers Theo and Dion, and her lady wrote the letters in large print, and then she copied them. As they shake hands with her, they question if she also draws the hearts next to it. She does them. Yes, she did that. Aiden's father is staring at them. He thinks that he thought the Gridwolf couple were already charming, but it turns out that their cat is irresistibly cute. He is also aware of her true identity. The nanny tells her that she worked hard today and the guest kept praising her until the end. They made sure to also make a painting of her. But she tells the nanny that she had so much fun and she danced a lot at the ball and her lady and Lord Jackal invited an artist to draw a portrait of her and her brothers. She thinks that Eden went back to the mansion to pack his things, and she cannot really reveal that she's a cat until the end. She realizes then, she guesses that she will have to flatter him throughout the injury adoption period, and just thinking about it makes her tired. Then Annie asks her if something is troubling her. She responds that she's just wondering when she will grow bigger. She eat a lot of salmon and drink a lot of milk, but she's still small. She's aware that if she were big and strong, Eden would be too scared to reveal her secret. Then anybody else heard that she will start growing taller after her muscles develop more and her weight goes up. Since she's very slim, she should just relax and take it easy. He asks her how about she tries some stretching exercises. Katie asks about the stretching exercises. She's told that her kids did this exercises every day and have grown into big wolves like Lord Jackal. She finds it great and states that she will do them and that the nanny should teach her. Then the nanny suddenly goes into her wolf form. She finds the nanny such a big wolf. She also changes into her form. The nanny tells her that she should watch closely and follow along. She is short. Stretch her front legs out like this. As she stretches, the nanny tells her that she's stretching like cheese. She responds that it is because she is a flexible baby wolf. She is then told to raise her hips higher and wag her tail. She thinks that it is not just because of Eden that she needs to become stronger and scarier. It is simply because becoming an adult won't be enough to avenge her mother. She wishes that she could learn how to fight too. She knows that she has asked too much from the rightful family, so it would be too much to ask for a combat instructor as well. She then realizes that she has got an idea. She goes out thinking if it is too late. She knows it was surely around this time. It is the training ground. She knows her brothers should be receiving lessons from Sir Elliot now. If she secretly followed their lessons, she won't need to spend any extra money, and she will improve her skills too, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Every one of them howls as she finds that sound as an echo. That too, as everyone notices her, she realizes she spoke softly, but she got caught. His Duke picks her up. He tells her that a fluffy cotton ball like her stands out more in bushes. She questions if he just called her a cotton ball. Theo asks her if she just got caught trying to watch them training secretly. They find her really cute. She wishes for the Duke to please turn her back into a human. Theo questions to his father if he can borrow his jacket. They cover her with the jacket as she comes back into her human form. It is her magnification magic. The Knights finds her really small and white. They mention that now they understand why the young masters train from early dawn. His Duke tells everyone to get back to what they were doing. He asks her for what reason is she at the training ground. She tells him that she came to watch the brothers train. He asks her if she was just only thinking of watching. He tells her that to him, it seems like she was trying to imitate the sound of a wolf howling. She tells his Duke that she wants to learn how to fight already. He tells her that she's still a baby wolf. She admits that, and tells him that she thinks she needs to be prepared so that she can leave the mansion as soon as she becomes an adult. She looks at his expression. She asks him if she did something wrong. He tells her that is not the case. Theo tells her that she still has a long time until she becomes an adult, but she is already thinking about leaving. She tells him the time flies quickly. Beyond mentions that sometimes she speaks like an old woman without understanding her brother's feelings. Elliot jokes that he thought only her lady could make Lord Jackal freeze like this. His Duke asks him to shut up. He questions if she really wants to learn how to fight. She tells him yes, she wants to be able to protect herself. He mentions but she is so small. She tells him that even though she is small, she has everything she needs. Sharp fangs too. She shows him that as he thinks, those teeth are so small that even the Tooth Fairy would not take them. She states that Theo and Dian also train every morning. The kids tell their father that she is right. They should treat everyone equally and discrimination is bad, and she is also a grid wolf, so it is better to teach her some martial arts along with her studies. He realizes that is true. They keep on discussing for a while as she hopefully stares at them. Elliot asks her if she can wake up early tomorrow. She tells him yes, and becomes excited, questioning if he is really going to teach her martial arts starting tomorrow. His Duke mentions that from tomorrow, Elliot will start teaching her the basic. She asked if that means that she can soar through the air and perform double kicks in a few days. They tell her that might take her a little more time. The next day, her lady mentions that she's still not sure if it is okay for her to start learning martial arts. His Duke states, for someone who is unsure, she has prepared quite a bit. Her lady mentions that she always wants to support her when she starts something. His Duke mentions that sales he wants to learn on her own. They cannot stop her. She also needs to know how to protect herself. Her lady pondered to think someone in contact with the leopards would boldly come to the mansion, and before she could confess, she bit her own tongue. She ponders, thinking it was better to die than to reveal the leopard's whereabouts. A guy checks her hat and mentions there's a tracking and eavesdropping magic on her. Her lady questioned if he is certain. You just responded. Yes, it is such a delicate spell that it is hard to detect unless one is highly sensitive to magic. His Duke thinks if Kitty had not suspected anything and bought the hat, someone would have been watching and listening to her daily life by now. Her lady finds the leopards very annoying, stating that since Kitty has become their daughter, do they see her as a weak spot of the wolf family and are targeting her. His Duke kisses her lady's hand and tells her to push that a little further. She hugs him, mentioning that she hopes Kitty does not get hurt while taking martial arts lessons. After all, cats are weaker than wolves. Daddy seems to feel more secure when treated as a wolf. So she has instructed all the wolves within their territory to treat Kitty as one of them. The power difference between species cannot be resolved just by treatment, but they cannot tell Kitty that they know she's a cat. If they say that, they know she would feel heavy guilty for lying to them. His Duke mentions that he just hopes she does not leave them out of guilt. Her lady is aware that if the right opportunity comes to tell her it is okay to be a cat, then she will take it. Someone knocks on the door as it is Kitty. She tells them that she heard her lady was looking for her. Her lady greets her and tells her that she's up much earlier than Theo and Theo. She mentions today is the first lesson and she slept well. Her lady tells her since she's starting martial arts lesson today, she prepared a modest gift for her. Kitty looks at all of the gifts, questioning how are they modest. One is a pretty wooden sword and a very sturdy looking boots. She turns to her lady, telling her that she gives her such gifts. Her lady tells her she is glad that Kitty likes it. Kitty tells her lady that she did not prepare anything. Her lady asks her to not feel burdened by it. Kitty then gives her lady a kiss. Her lady blushes as his Duke is shocked. When beastmen grow to a certain extent, they are then able to hide their animalistic characteristics. Only after a very significant agitation, such as when their ears or tails popped out, did people pay attention. One time his duke told her lady that he crossed the line first so that he has to take responsibility for her. She called out to him as his ears were popped out. That is when he asked to live together with him. It was something that almost never happened. Jackal asks her lady if it is that good. She tells him that no matter how much she explains, he would receive Kitty Kiss will never understand. She tells them that she is then off. Theo and Dion find Kitty and father coming. Kitty calls out to them and asks them if they were waiting. Theo notices and asks her that she has new boots and a necklace. She tells them yes, and her lady gave them to her as a gift for her first training. Dion then looks at his father and questions why does he look like he's burning with jealousy. His father tells him that is not true. Theo asks if his jealousy is directed towards Mother or Kitty. Which side is he on? Matthew mentions that he guesses he's on Mother's side, and then Dion decides to go for Kitty's side, and the loser is banned from touching her for a day. Dion responds that wait a minute as the stakes are too high, so he needs some time to think. His duke suddenly turns into his wolf form. He tells Katie that it is her first lesson, so he'll take her. Theo and Dion know that he never took them to their first lesson. He said they need to raise themselves strong. As they went to the training ground, Elliot noticed that his duke turned into his wolf form. They get off him as he tells them it is all right to slide down. Elliot wonders that he heard it was only a temporary adoption. Kitty thanks him for bringing her. She tells him that thanks to him, her heart is fluttering and it's lovely. She kisses him as he comes back to his human form. He tells her that she does not have to thank him for everything. His ears also comes out as she tells him that he forgot to take his ears in. Elliot states that she has come dressed in a splendid battle outfit and that if they should start the lesson now. She tells him yes. He then asks her if there is a chance that she has already learned the at attention stance, as it is very sharp for a first-timer. She tells him that it is thanks to the virtue she called from working since she was young, and if he does not stand straight, there is an old man who would pull his neck. He seems a bit shocked as both Theo and Dion gets angry, questioning who dares to mess with their soft hands. She tells Elliot that in every village, there's usually at least one such person. She wonders if it could be that she's the only one who lived hearing such words. He tells her that it would have been better if she had learned from a kinder person for her first time. She questions if her stance is lacking. He mentions, without her stance is perfect, but it would have been nicer in a better atmosphere. She tells Elliot that she's so happy to learn from him now. He tells her that he thinks he understands what made his duke fall for her. Then they will start with a stamina test to determine the direction of her future training. She is told that she needs to catch these marbles one by one as quickly as possible. He questions if they shall give it a try. She knows that she likes catching games. She catches all of them as Elliot is honestly a bit surprised. When he heard her, her nickname was Soft Paws. He did not think she could move so fast. She tells him that she's confident when it comes to catching. He questions if they shall move on to the next test then. He tells her that she should please not swallow the marbles she put in her mouth. She is surprised to find so many love. He tells her this is a place to evaluate or improve her jumping skills. He tells her to not overdo it and jump only as high as she can. She then jumps high as he is shocked, thinking how can she jump like this without a running start? She remembers that, come to think of it, wolves are not very good at jumping high. She tells him that she likes high places a little bit. He tells her all baby wolves do. The next test given to her is then after a while it is evening as he checks that her strength is quite low. But other metrics are much better than expected, and she should continue to eat a lot of salmon and meat. He also tells her if she wants to use a weapon, it might be better to use a bow or crossbow that can be used from a distance. She ponders that she thought she would naturally learn sword when she takes her older brother. But she is more so about is better than fighting up close. She wanted to face Jerian in hand-to-hand combat. Jerian always used to toss and catch small obstacles to intimidate other cats. She is told to not be too disappointed. She tells him that no, she's not disappointed. But he tells her her wolf ears dropped like winter leaves. She apologizes and fixes them, but he tells her it is fine. She wonders when did he have stop on her. She sounded like she was whining like a child. He stares at her as he tells her that even the young master initially developed their strength by using bows, and if she thinks about it, even the symbol of grid wolf is the bow. He tells her that she knows that her lady recently attended a meeting. She responds yes, she heard that the wolves had a meeting. The place is called the Central Martial Hall. There she can find the words left by the goddess. She's shocked as she questions if that is really the case. He questions if she has not heard the story that the goddess used a bow. She responds yes, she did. And it is. Even in the lullabies, in the center of the central martial hall, there's a bow embedded so deeply that no one can extract it. According to legend, it is something the goddess used. He asks her, how does that sound? Does not a weapon with such an interesting region seem cool? She feels like Elliot is lying to comfort her. And she does not feel bad, rather. She tells him that she wants to work hard. She wants to work even harder. She calls him instructor. He tells her that is not a bad title. She looks at his ears as they pop out.